Okay. So what is AOT compilation in Angular?
Uh, like there are three types of compilation in Angular based on the versions. Like JOT was the first one, and after that AOT, and after 13, Angular 13, we are having Angular IV. So AOT compilation is what it will do is like it will be like converting the modules and all the Java functions to a bundle, and it will be sending to the browser. And the browser will be rendering on the runtime, so that we'll be able to get the errors during the compilation as well as in the IntelliSense. So that is the advantage of AOT compilation. Whereas in after Angular 13, we are using Angular IV. Angular IV is an engine which is being produced and developed by Angular, which they say that it will be converting into smaller bundles and it will be sending to you. So based on the tree stacking purpose, like sorry, based on the tree stacking, like you, yeah, based on the tree shaking, I wanted to once again.
Mm-hmm.
In tree shaking, what it will happen is like we'll be having many dependencies and modules where we do not be using in that particular page. So it will be analyzing it, and based on the unused module, it will not be creating a small bundle based on that. So once we are using, it will be generating that bundle in browser and it will be replicating it. So that the defaults which we are having on JOT and AOT is being nullified in Angular IV.
Okay. Okay. So are you sharing your data in between sibling components in your project?
Yeah, sure, sir. Without we are surely doing it.
Okay. So how you do that?
So actually, there are I will say about the different ways which we use. Like first thing is, if you wanted to create a like a normal component, we'll be using like with not much complexity. We'll be using not input and output decorators for transferring the data between the components. Whereas if you wanted to share the data commonly between, and we also have some business logic, we have to be performing some business logic, and we have to share to different components. We'll be using services, and they are even in services we can also create a getter and setter using a private variable, and we can share it based on where we want. We can also limit the shareable based on the getter and setter also. So there are three ways of doing is that for sibling, if you wanted to invoke a function in an like a child component, we can use a template difference, and we can invoke the method in the child component as well.
Okay. So for a sibling with a services, you said that we are using we can use a getter setter, correct?
So that is a like that is for for all the components can be accessing that variable using a get and set method. So that is
Yeah,
also
that is
like a common
that
way.
is yeah, that is fine. But see now,
Okay.
so if you have sibling components and something get changed in a component A, okay,
Yeah.
let me draw it over here. So you will relate that. Okay. So what I meant to
Yes.
say,
Yes.
see, can you see my screen? Let me share.
Yes.
Okay. So what I meant to say, suppose you have this page, okay,
Yeah.
and your component A is here and your component B
Yeah.
is here, okay, and this is your service.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, this should be A and this should be B now for you. Now
Yeah. Okay.
you
Got it.
you say that you will create a getter and setter here and you will pass data to here again, correct? So
No, sir. No, I did not say like that. Like what I'm saying is that I'll be sharing a single variable between these two A and B. So like, but that is not for siblings. We can like
that is why I'm
actually I
asking.
said
That is
getter and setter for
hmm,
like so for example, if I'm having a variable, if I'm having a private variable, if you
hmm.
wanted to alter the value, I'll be using a getter and setter. So that that private variable can be shared between these two.
Okay, so you said that
To
you will create
to
our
achieve
private.
this, I'll be using a subject.
Yeah, so that is why I was asking you all these things because you did not
Okay.
mention anywhere subject or anything.
Yeah, okay, no, to achieve this, I'll be using subject or bigger subject to
Yeah.
make this.
Now tell me what is difference between subject and behavioral subject.
Like a key difference is like a beginner subject will be asking for an default value, whereas subject does not ask for a default value. And for both, we for example, we do not need like for observable, we need a subscriber to create a nest function to emit the values, whereas subscriber does not need that much complication subscriber, specific subscriber to emit the value, whereas we can use dot nest to emit the values.
Both will use dot
These
next.
are the, sir?
Both will use dot next.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So what is different between both them?
It is accepting the default value, whereas we'll
Hmm.
be
Yep. So behavioral
giving
subject
like
will
giving
take,
the value.
yeah, it will accept the
Yeah,
default value, whatever you want to pass, correct? Okay. So have you
yeah.
heard about replace subject?
Replace subject. Yeah, I came across it, but I have never used it.
Okay. So the way we pass a default value to your observable, s- correct? Your behavioral subject or something are
Yeah,
observable. It will hold that value, correct?
yeah,
The
sure.
replace subject, you can hold the values if you give the buffer of 5, so it will hold the previous 5 values. Okay.
Okay,
So when you push the sixth value, it will eliminate the first value and it will push that new value. Correct. So you can create a buffer in that case. So
got it.
yep, kind of that it works. Okay. So have you heard about SSR?
Server-side rendering.
Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about it?
Server-side rendering is like I can say what is the use of it. Like the in most cases the server-side renderings are used to optimize the page. Most of the thing it will be having less interaction with the page. To rank top in the SEO list, we'll be using server-side rendering pages. Some of the examples are like well, Google will be ranking based on the server-side rendering pages mostly. The reason is like the response time is like the CPA will be very less when we are creating a pages using server-side rendering.
Okay.
So that it will be taking to the top of the list and it will be replicating in the search engines. So that is the reason why we are using server-side engineering. But I'm currently working in client-side rendering.
Okay, no problem. So you have been creating a forms in your project, correct?
Yeah, sure, sir.
So what type of form we have?
Um, we are using reactive forms, but there are two types. That is template-driven forms and reactive forms.
Okay. And what is different in both?
Like actually, template-driven forms has been since from AngularJS it has been there. The reason why they have used it like to give the experience of the same which you are using in other platforms. So they wanted to replicate the same thing. But whereas in reactive forms, so it is a modern way of converting all the values, and we'll be having so much of features added to it, added to the template-driven form, where
Mm-hmm.
we can create multiple forms. We can also have an option of creating a forms array. So all those things will be uh, added out of the reactive forms, whereas template forms from the default they have been developed, so it is still there. But most of the cases we are using reactive forms.
Correct. Okay. So read about both in the depth little bit. So what is form control or what is form group? What is form array when we use it?
Yeah,
Suppose
sure,
I want
sir.
to see sometime what's happened. So interview will ask you to how to write a pattern, and if you want to check the input depend upon that pattern. If it is matching, then it should show the green. Otherwise, it should show the red kind of things over there or
Yeah, we
invalid
can
kind
use
of.
validators.
Yeah, so that is what I'm saying. So such kind of question also gonna ask sometime. So that is what I'm saying. Okay,
Okay.
so yep. Okay, so have you heard about serverless Angular application by chance?
So, pardon, sir.
Serverless. Have you heard about this term?
Serverless. No, sir. I'm
Serverless
not
means
clear
oh,
on
okay.
that.
Let me tell you. So have you heard about Firebase?
Yeah, sure. Firebase.
Okay, so that to use that Firebase, you don't need any backend. No Java, no .NET, Node.js, nothing. Correct? You directly
Okay.
use that Firebase from Angular.
Okay, got
Okay.
it.
So this is serverless because you are storing your data directly on the DB of the Firebase, but you are not writing any server side of script. You are directly calling from Angular to Firebase. So this is one of the example. So they,
Okay, got it.
yeah, so they have been too many APIs for your application. So we can use SSO login, then we can log in with Google, then we can use login with password, login with phone number. All those things comes with the Firebase. So read about that. And the push notification also, it is very good to use a push notification as well over there.
Chain detection you're saying, right?
Firebase.
Okay, Firebase push notification.
Yeah, push
Okay, okay.
notification. Yep. Okay. Yep. So, okay. So lazy loading you might be know. So, okay. So, do you know what is the performance optimization techniques for Angular?
Yeah, sure, sir. There are different ways of we can improve the performance.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the ways of like removing any functions which is being present in HTML pages. So we have to eliminate the use of functions in the HTML, like using the function to get the value in the HTML
Mm-hmm.
pages should be reduced. If the any modules are being not used, but it is being available directly, and if we are using any direct routes with
Mm-hmm.
connecting to the module, we have to remove it and we have to make it as lazy loading.
Mm-hmm.
To reduce the claim time complexity, we have to increase the use of reusable codes. So wherever it possible, so that a single time it will be running, so that we'll be getting multiple dimension of usage. And to reduce the on-display memory, like we can make the change detection on push, so that
Mm-hmm.
the Angular will be creating the digest cycle for each time any event is been called. Instead of unnecessarily like
Mm-hmm.
uh, like unnecessarily looking for the changes in the HTML page, it will be checking only for the events. So these are the ways we can increase the performance as well.
Correct. Okay. So I think we have covered small and important questions. So
Yeah.
any question do you feel that is bit difficult for you now as well? So you can read about that, correct? Because we
Yes,
have,
yes, sir. But
yeah.
actually, what I wanted to say is that I just wanted to get a review on my knowledge.
Yeah. So that is what I'm saying now. So, okay. So you knows the concept, okay, but you wanted to explain it more clearly. So you need to read more all these things in the depth. So that is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
sure.
Yeah. So because this is your first interview. So if I give two, three interviews, so you can relate the question and you can relate the answer as well. Right. So it will be easy for you. So, but try to give the interview for any company. So in that way, at least you will practice your
Okay.
questions and note down the questions, whatever question interviewer will ask you. So you can make a note of those questions and prepare for the next interview. So it will be, you will be having the question sets for you. Correct.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And another thing, Ganesh. So you can do one thing. So we have Angular interviews, correct, in our channel as well.
Yeah,
So do one thing. So I'm asking the question to that guy, correct? So pause the video at that
yeah.
time and try to give your answer, at least in just so you can relate that
Yeah,
answer.
sure, I got
So
it.
what, yeah, so what answer I can give for this question, and you can compare your answer with that interview that candidate's answer. So in that way also you can prepare very well, correct?
Yes, yes.
So
No,
yeah.
actually, I just for 1 month I've been what I'm doing is that based on my daily work, what I'm doing, like if I'm using any RGS operator, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just explaining it to myself, and after that, I'm using it in my project, so that I'm just getting ready,
Correct.
related to and used to when and I don't need to get panic because the question which you asked all are like almost similar to me. I can able to guess and say it.
Yeah,
Only for serverless, I am not having any clue on it,
correct. Yep. That is fine. That is fine.
so that I can able
Because
to relate my work on this. So
yeah,
I need to like still
I
more
did,
work on it.
yeah, so I did ask you some bit tricky questions. So that is why I found such kind of things. But no problem. So as your experience is 2 years, so close to 2 years, so that is fine for now. But
Okay.
try that Angular, what I told you related to Angular standalone. So standalone
Yeah, sure, sir.
commands. Yeah, do that because that is kind of the things happening right now. Anything else, Ganesh?
Uh,
you
Like
can.
that's most of the things are covered. Like
Yep.
maybe like I will also focus on JavaScript as well because many interviews may also ask regarding
Yeah,
that.
so I did not have get chance to ask you the question related to that. So probably we can have another interview whenever you want to have.
Yeah, sure,
Can
sure.
book, then I can ask you related to JavaScript on that time. Correct. And you can ping me
Okay,
on
so now
the.
next week I will book for it.
Yep. And another thing, you can ping me on Instagram anytime. So if you have any questions, so we can talk on the Instagram as well.
Actually, I'm not that like I'm having Instagram, but I'm not using it.
Oh, you are
I'm
not
not that
using.
much good in social media.
You can mail me then.
Yeah, no, I'm having your number, so no issues.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, okay, no problem. Okay then. Okay, Ganesh, all the
Thanks,
best.
it's
Yep,
great having a chat with you. I'm having some good clarity.
yep.